Hello beautiful people. How is everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing really well and staying warm. The weather's been really crazy. Julie here from the capital area from New York. And we're going to talk about several different things today. Alright, let's dive in. Alright, so what we're going to talk about today is starting your seeds. Now what's important with the soil mixture that you're getting is that it is very fine, because the roots of the seeds are super fragile and you don't want them working with a lot of rocks and a lot of debris, a lot of bark, a lot of large pieces. You want them to take off and be, just get the head start as much as they can with soft, fine soil so they can establish the roots. Now there's many different kinds. What we're using today is here Burpee Organic Seed Starting Mix. Now what the trick for me has been, and actually the challenge over the last couple of years, is whenever I start the seeds indoors, I don't have a greenhouse. What I get over the next several weeks, up to several months before I put the seedlings outside, is that I start to develop bugs, right? Gnats, dirt flies, dirt gnats. And what happens is a lot of times, even though the dirt might be sterilized by the manufacturers, the bugs lay their eggs in there and they can withstand winter temperature. They can go into hibernation and they'll be in there for months and they'll be fine. They won't, be flying around in there. But once you come out and you plant your seeds in your little trays, the bugs come out of their hibernation, and then you got a house full of little gnats. Now, the trick to that is you can obviously put a lot of different pesticides and things in there and keep them from coming out. But what I found works really well is if you boil some water and you pre-mix the dirt, your soil, with this boiling water, and it will definitely kill the eggs. That way everything in here is ready to go and it has a higher chance of not having an infestation in your kitchen, right? When you're starting your seeds. And then you're not spraying your seedlings with some kind of pesticide or peroxide or anything that you might spray on your seed beds to get rid of these bugs. And once you get one, you get 1,000 in a matter of weeks, and it just becomes an infestation. So I found this works really well. You just pour boiling water, a lot of it, and you're gonna get a mushy, gooey soup, but it will evaporate. Give it a couple days, let the dirt penetrate with all that water. So we're gonna do another. We did one bucket and we're gonna do a couple more in just a moment. Alright, so here we go. So we got our bucket of boiling water, and we're just gonna pour it over all this dirt. You want everything soaked. Alright, and then you want to make sure you mix it in. This will not only obviously hydrate your soil prior to you planting your seeds, because you don't want to put water on your seeds. It disrupts the soil to an extent where your seeds are going to get moved around. So not only will it hydrate the soil prior to planting and prepping your seed trays, it will also fight any bug infestations and will kill the bug larva. Alright, and give it a good mix. Now obviously let this cool before you put it in your plastic trays. You might have to give it a few hours. If it's really soupy, you might have to give it a couple days so that it evaporates and absorbs a little more. But that should be ready in a couple of hours for us. Alright. This system works like a charm. You don't have to put any kind of chemical in there. This will kill any bug eggs with the boiling water. Fantastic solution. Like I said, if it's outside, even if you're putting it in your garage or your tool shed or basement even, the bugs will go into hibernation with the cold weather. So the cold weather doesn't necessarily affect them as much. But if you boil them, those buggers will be gone. I mean, I've even tried, I've gotten so frustrated that I've even baked my dirt for an hour and a half. But I think this system definitely works a lot better. So, alright, so I'm going to give that a couple of hours and then we'll come back and fill our little trays with that. Now the other thing that I've heard a lot about is if you're having trouble with a lot of mold growing on your seedling start trays. So we're going to try something I've never tried before, but we're trying to stay all natural without pesticides or any kind of harsh chemicals. We are going to get some cinnamon from the dollar store, and they a lot of times sell it in large containers. So we're going to sprinkle a whole bunch of that in there and mix it in, and we'll see how it does keeping the mold and algae from growing on the seedlings. Now the other thing you always want to make sure is that you don't water from the top. Always water from the bottom of your trays, and make sure you have proper ventilation. Even though you want light and warmth on you want a lot of times use a seedling starting mat, heat mat. Those are all things that could cause algae and mold to grow on the surface of your plants. So always water from the bottom, and we'll see how the cinnamon trick does the job. If you guys have used it before, or if you know of another alternative way, and I know I've heard people say you can mix peroxide with water when you're watering the plants. I've heard several different tricks that are more on the natural side. So we're going to try and use the cinnamon. Alright? Comment in the section below. Let me know what you think or what's worked for you guys. Alright, so what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be filling our seed starting trays with our seed starting mix. Now it's different from regular potting mix, obviously, because it's a lot finer and it's developed specifically for the germinated seeds roots to be able to penetrate through the fine dirt, and actually it's mixed with coconut coir so that it's more water absorbent. Now if you purchase the seed starting mix from a store, oftentimes what you're going to find is once you plant your seeds, the dirt doesn't actually absorb the water very much. There seems to have some type of hydrophobic coating, or it's just not water absorbent. And what I found several times is if you purchase the trays that already have the dirt in them specifically, oftentimes you can have water and you're feeding your plants from the bottom, but you'll have the water there for days, maybe even a week, and it will not get wicked up into the seed trays. So trick to that is always pre-mix your dirt with water. Make sure that it's very moist. That way, once you plant your seeds, into the cells, the dirt is already pre-moistened and it will a lot more readily wick up into the cells. All right. Now, once you get your seeds started in there, just make sure that you have proper ventilation. Maybe have an oscillating fan. Make sure you have good light and you have your seed starting mat if necessary. Keep the water fresh. Maybe change it out on the bottom underneath these things. All right, and I'm super excited to see what happens and how how they start out. Always such a almost emotional moment for me when every morning you wake up and you just start looking and looking for the little seedlings to come through. So it's almost a spiritual moment for me, honestly. Just to see all the hard work that you put in and the excitement, and then all of a sudden life happens, and it's just such a beautiful design. So I'm excited for you guys as well to see how your seeds start out, and I wish you all the best. All right, guys, let's take this on. Here comes middle of February.